Hey, hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. I'm Jerry. I want to share with you today why I am upgrading my already brand new BMW, and I want to share the story behind that. Before I do, I want to make sure you know my intention with this video is I want to connect the dots for you as you're watching this with me on why you need to be able to treat money like oxygen. And what I mean by that is when you're breathing, you don't think about budgeting your breaths. You don't think about what if I can't breathe tomorrow? You don't say, hey, I need to breathe less because maybe there's not enough out there. You just don't do that. And so that's how we should treat money. That says a lot about the value that we place on money. The reason we're able to do that with oxygen is because we're not obsessed with it. We're not worried about, I need to get more. Where is it? I don't have enough. If we did that, then we would all be fighting each other and trying to kill off the population because I would think you were stealing my breath. That's how it would operate. But the funny thing is, we treat money that way. A little green piece of paper that means nothing. We act like it's the world. We hoard it. We make fear-based decisions based on the lack of it. And I want to share with you today the mindset change I've had over the last 7 months. So this story goes back to August of 2016. I'm going to make this quick. In August of 2016, I bought a Kia. Brand new 2016 Kia. Went to the dealership. It was a Kia Soul, but at that moment, I was thinking in a scarcity mindset. So I went into the Kia dealership, and you guys, go ahead and make fun of me for this. I went into the Kia dealership 2 years ago, and I went in and I told them, hey, I want the absolute lowest price you can give me on a vehicle. I don't care what it is. I want the lowest price you can get me. And so they showed me a base model Kia, and they said, this is a base model Kia. You know, it doesn't have anything, automatic transmission. It does not have power lock, doors and windows. You've got to do it all manual. And I said, okay, that's $220 a month. I need it $210 a month. So what they did was they showed me an even more base model Kia. They said, this one is a manual transmission. You have to manually unlock the door every time you get into it. It has absolutely nothing in it. It's just a vehicle with seats. And I said, that's the one I want. And in the moment, I was proud of myself. I was like, man, my bargaining skills, I just negotiated that. All of these things, that I was proud of. And after, I would say about 6 months of driving, and every time I got in, click, I had to click, unlock the door, click, lock the door. I didn't have a button. I didn't have an auto start. None of that. And I got fed up with it. I realized, like looking back hindsight, that I made that decision based on poverty mindset. I was thinking about my inability to make $10 in that moment. That's literally what was going through my head is I can't afford $10. Now, fast forward to June of this year, I got my first BMW. Now, this goes back to the poverty mindset thing. I didn't get a BMW because I wanted to get one. I got one because a business partner of mine offered to pay for it. And so they said, you have a budget of $500 a month. If you go in and get a BMW in that budget, we'll cover it. So I went into the dealership because I had someone else's money. It wasn't my money. It was someone else's money. I wasn't going to be responsible for it. Someone else was paying for it. And so I went in and I literally said, I have a $500 budget. I will not go over that amount. So show me what you have in the $500 range. And the salesperson there, she caught me looking at my dream car as a BMW X6. We test drove it and everything. We did all of the features and everything in there. And I still made the decision to get the $500 car. And again, I was proud of myself. I was like, hey, I stayed under budget. That's awesome. That's what it's about. And it was probably about 2 months ago I realized that the line of thinking and behavior that caused me to get the lower model BMW was the same thinking that caused me to get the $200 Kia, which was the same thinking that caused me to make all of the poverty-minded decisions that I made growing up. It was a mindset. Okay? Now, some of you are watching this and you're like, that's frivolous. You don't need all that. I don't need all that. That's selfish. And I'm going to share with you why. If you have the ability to do something and be an example to others, you owe that to yourself and to others. If you're watching this and you've got kids, yeah, Lexi says, if you guys want the Kia, contact us. If you're watching this and you have kids, is the lesson you want to teach your kids, you're not good enough, you don't have the ability to do the things you really want to do. That says a lot about money. if you don't think you have the ability, because here's the difference. The nicer BMW, it was like $200 a month difference. It's not like it was $1,000 extra. It was $200. So in the moment, I was worried about $200 a month. I was not worried about, hey, how am I going to hit my goal? How am I going to become a billionaire? How am I going to change the lives of billions of people on planet Earth, which is what I write down every morning. I was thinking about $200. Can you guys see the disconnect there? I will never achieve my goal if I'm worried about $200. It's no different than saying I want to be a millionaire and then going into a restaurant and buying the cheapest thing on the menu because the steak was too expensive. You can't do both. It just can't happen. It's cognitive dissonance. If you think and believe and act a certain way, then this stuff over here that you aspire to can't happen. So we made the decision, by the way, with Jennifer Bohannon, BMW. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for talking me off of the ledge and into the right decision and into a wise decision, that we needed to make a decision to get the BMW changed out for the X6. So last night we set up, she did the whole thing on text message. We set up via text message to get the new BMW. And so basically the decision was not even a financial decision. It was a behavior decision. Do I continue operating in the same mindset? And if not, what is the most distinct turn that I can make in a different direction? In religion, we call this repent, stop doing something and start doing something different. What's the way that I can repent of my bad behavior and change it? And so we said the way that we can change and stop that decision is to literally do the opposite thing. Send the car back, lose the money on it because it's a brand new vehicle, get the vehicle we should have got in the first place, and let that be our lesson. Now, the other factor on this is the new vehicle, it causes me to have to keep expanding. It causes me to use it. It causes me to be out. It causes me to travel. It causes me to increase my income. And because I have that positive pressure, I'm going to act in accordance and grow everything. Now, if I shrink back, that's actually a sign of death. If I'm budgeting, I'm saving money, I'm getting the cheaper car payment, I'm not going out, I'm pulling back, I'm retreating, that's a sign of death. If you're in a business and you're doing that, you're dying. It's only a matter of time. Okay, and then the third thing I want to put out here. So I watched the Greatest Show in the World on Saturday. We went out with some friends and watched that movie. It was J.P. Barnum and Bailey's The Circus, right? And so at the end of the movie, he rode in on an elephant. And what I learned from that movie was we all have to promote. Everybody needs to promote. Now, when he first started his circus business in that movie, he wasn't starting a circus. He was calling it something else because he wanted to choose a name that he thought the public would enjoy. And as he evolved his business, he had a critic. Now, I had a critic on Monday. We hired someone to walk our dogs, and we got our first critic. That's a good thing. Now, this critic in the Barnum and Bailey movie, in The Greatest Showman, the critic said J.P. Barnum is running a circus. And so what did J.P. Barnum do? He changed the name of his business to a circus. You need to go in the direction of the criticism. You need to promote yourself. And so when I got done watching that movie, my first thought was, shoot, man, I don't have an elephant. Like, I don't have an elephant to ride in on, like, in the end of the movie. What am I doing to be visible? What am I doing to grow? What am I doing to create expansion? Staying at home, spending $3 less on cereal, trying to save 10 cents on gas, shopping discount programs, waiting in line at Sam's Club for 6 hours to save 20% on ground beef. That's not going to get you attention. That's not going to grow your business, and it's not going to grow your wealth. So if you're watching this and this resounds with you, I want to encourage you, make your financial decisions based on the effect you are trying to cause. Stop making fear-based financial decisions. Treat money like oxygen. That's what wealth is. Okay? We have all these different descriptions of wealth. My description is you can treat money like oxygen. You don't think about it. You reach for it and it's there. You give it freely. You're not worried about, what if I breathe out? Then Lexi might get it and then I can't get it back. That's not how we think about oxygen. We'd all be walking around holding our breath. We don't think about, what if I breathe in too much and there's not enough there and next time I try and breathe, I die. No one thinks that. Stop operating on that basis with your finances. That's killing you. So I want to encourage you, do the right thing based on behavior. There's something to be said for creating positive behaviors regardless of the money involved. If you're doing the right things, if you're promoting, if you're growing, if you're helping people, if you're being ethical and you're out in the open so everyone can see it, money will follow. You don't need to worry about that. It'll show up. But if you're worried about, I need to grab and take and get all this money and hoard it, and I'm not going to share it, and I'm not going to willingly let it go, part of this transaction was doing something for Jennifer, my salesperson. She was bold enough to message me, even though she knew I just bought it, and she knew I should have got the different one 6 months ago, and say, hey, do you want to do a second round at this? Let's see if we can get you in the right vehicle this time. So part of that is the abundance mindset of rewarding her for going out on the ledge and doing a good job. So guys, share this video. If you're watching this and you're like, that's frivolous, you shouldn't do that, I don't need that, you're saying more about what's going on up in your own head. And that's okay. I want to have a conversation with you about that. If you're watching this and you're like, dude, that's awesome, then I want to challenge you. Go do something similar in your own life. I'm not saying you have to go get a BMW, but go back and unmake the bad decision and go make the good decision. Change it. Switch it. Okay? So thank you guys for watching. Happy Thursday. By the way, 2 announcements. Tonight at 6:30 p.m., we are doing our first Power Network Mastermind group. It's going to be at the Megan Room here in Anchorage, 6:30 p.m. We will have 2 guest speakers coming that are building a life of abundance and prosperity. They've created businesses from the ground up. They're investors. They're making it happen. And they're going to spill their guts, guys. They're going to tell you how they got there, where they started. So if you're interested in that, technically this is a Wealth Dynamics University client event only. But if you want to get in, I will give you 1 freebie into the event. There's going to be networking. There's going to be education. Second thing that I personally need your help with, okay? Me and 3 of my partners are starting a charity here in Anchorage. It's going to be called Operation Reborn. We're working with the homeless community to rehabilitate them and start putting them in a position to succeed. And so once a month, we're going to be meeting at Hair Science. It's on the corner of 15th and C Street here in Anchorage. We're going to have a food truck there. So we're going to have homeless people, unemployed people, at-risk youth, at-risk women coming to this, and they're going to get fed. We're going to give them food. They're going to get haircuts. We're going to clean them up so they look good and they feel good. And then we're going to plug them into Wealth Dynamics University as they're eating, as they're getting their haircut, so that they can start learning how to be productive, how to think differently about themselves, how to start contributing, how to get back on their feet. So it's going to be really, that's why it's called Operation Reborn, really changing the individual, starting with feeding them, giving them substance, giving them something that they can utilize to have energy and be back on top, then changing their physical appearance so they look good and feel good, and then giving them different data. And this links right back to the BMW thing. You are where you are in life right now because of the data that you operate on. Somebody has bad information, that's what causes them to be homeless. Somebody has bad information, that's what causes them to think they can't make an extra $200 a month to cover their dream car. Somebody has bad information, that's what causes them to buy unhealthy food that could give them cancer or diabetes in 10 years and feed it to their children and think it's no big deal. It's bad data. So changing the data is the way that you fix the issue and you create a different effect. Okay? So guys, I'm going to tune out here. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this. This is my elephant. I want to make sure you guys know this is a circus. I do want your attention and I do want to teach you how to do the things I'm doing. Please share this message. Get it out there. Have a great Thursday. I'll talk to you next time.